Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to nature and welcome to my channel Green Oasis. So right now this is doing an update of what I previously set up of my Nano tank. Not just an update, but also to let you guys know how easy to set up a tank like this. Again, I'm just gonna elaborate a little bit more on how what are the equipment that I use in this tank, in this setup. This is actually a 5-gallon tank, a Fluvo spec. I had this for many years, and then on top of that, I also have the filtration, which is, that one has not been working for a while now. It's not been working, so I replaced it with a mini overhead filter. In fact, I don't really need filtration. The reason is this tank has been seasoned. It's been, floating plants and everything's been absorbed all the nitrates, ammonia. The plants, the fish in the plants has been established. So technically, I don't really need any filtration. But anyway, I just want to put there a little flow of water would be nice. And I'm going to share with you of what are the daily maintenance I do. You can see in the B-rolls. Basically, it's pretty easy. I just do some cutting here and there. And I'm going to tell you also about the plants that I have, which actually keep this tank alive. Without these plants, I think I have to do a lot of maintenance for almost once a week. Such a small tank, it's not easy to keep up. If you're a larger tank, it's actually so much easier, but because it's a smaller tank, I can actually get away with, the tank has been established, so that's the plus. If the tank has been established, I don't really hardly do any maintenance. In fact, my maintenance, I only have to do like, I just top up the water, that's it. Pretty clear, just top the water once it starts to evaporate. So guys, actually it's pretty easy. You don't really have to do much to set up a simple tank like this. You can see the fish are doing well, although I do have a couple of die-off here and there, but it's expected, As it gets older, you die off, and my stream is doing well. I have this stream for almost 2 years now. It's been reproducing. That shows that the tank is doing exceptionally well. The plants is growing like crazy. I have jungle val here and duckweed. I know a lot of people doesn't like duckweed, but it keeps the tank clean. And my trumpet snail. I didn't buy the trumpet snail. It just happened to be hitchhiking along the way. But the trumpet snail it helped me a lot in this setup because it helped to aerate the soil, and that means that it helps the plants to keep growing. So the plant is doing well. I believe is the trumpet snail that's doing all the work. So I'm just gonna leave them there and let it do its job. I just like to see the little mini ecosystem that you can see from here. So guys, it's actually pretty easy setup. I'm going to show you a little bit here and there. There's, gravel, of course. I have the things like gravel, I have the wood, I have the rock, and the plants that I have is jungle val. And I like how it is, very, jungly. So, and yeah, I really enjoy it. It's really fun to watch. I'm not planning to put any more plants because if I do put any more plants in this small tank, it's going to look overcrowded, and I don't want to make it look overcrowded. I want to look at as clean, as natural as possible. And recently I bought a rice fish, and now I have 2. I used to have 5. I don't know what happened. It's surviving. And for feeding, I only have to feed about once a week. Once a week for them to feed on, because the shrimp will scavenge and all the stuff, and the rice fish will feed off some of the algae. And you can see how I actually do maintenance on the algae. I just have to use a scraper. I scrape on a little bit of algae once in a while. You gotta do a little bit of maintenance, even though there's no such thing as free, just let it run type of tank. You have to do a little bit of maintenance, because if you don't do any upkeep, it's gonna go really wild, and then algae is going to start to grow. And speaking of algae, I have light, and my light is actually growing on, this is Chihiro light, B2 I believe. I think it's a B2, I'm not so sure. It's a very small Chihiro light. I like this light because it's Bluetooth, so I can connect it through Bluetooth through my phones, and they have a timer setting, which is, I really like this. And I set on for about 6-7 hours, which is more than enough. If anything more than that, I think algae is going to start to grow. It's going to be really bad for this tank. So yeah, I'm happy how it turns out. So guys, you don't really have to spend a lot of money on on setting up a Nano tank. Just bring a little bit of nature into your house, spice up a little bit in your room or in your living room. Alright guys, so next topic I want to talk about low maintenance. So what makes it low maintenance when people talk about low maintenance in the tank like this? It's basically people thinking about, well, you gotta do a lot of work. Imagine like daily tasks that you need to clean up the tank, you need to clean up the algae. But low maintenance basically is just having easy growing plants, simple fish, cleanup crew, something like this, like shrimp, snails, to help you to line up the loads and the lighting that you have, and all these things add up. Low maintenance, and the amount of water changes, especially how much water change that you have to do per week, or none at all. In fact, I have not been doing this water change for about more than a year. Yeah, believe it or not. I just have to top up the water, that's it, like I said before. And yeah, due to evaporation. And yeah, it doesn't need a lot of setup. Rice fish here, my shrimp is munching on biofilm, so I don't really have to do much feeding. I've got snails, trumpet snails. You can see these are my cleanup crew, and they'll be doing a lot of jobs. So let's say if in the event when my fish die, which I might not know, sometime these cleanup crew or what will clean up them in no time, about a day or two. You can see everything's all done and cleaned up. And I like about this trumpet snail. You can see this trumpet snail, it might seem like a pest. There's a lot of little ones here, you can see. It may seem like a pest to you, but they actually help to aerate the soil, which I really like. And I believe that's how my plants are doing really well, especially my jungle val. These are floating plants, which I had it for a while, and then you can see this is called the red root floater. Really like that. It's really awesome. So it's getting red color. If you have high light intensity or medium light, it's gonna grow some red, and it does grow flowers too. So it's really amazing. And I have my backup filtration, so everything's pretty easy. The setup is very simple. I want to make it as easy as possible, and keep the things as easy is actually the best way to go. Don't have to complicate anything along the way. And along the way, if you want to add up some little bit of things, you can, but my advice is keep it simple, because this is only a 5-gallon tank. You don't want to crowd it with too many things. You want to keep it as nice, as clean as possible, which I really like in this tank. And let nature take its course. Especially I want a little bit of a curve, what they call it, arch with this jungle val, which one thing I like about this jungle val, it gives it a little arch, and hopefully that you can cover up. You can see some of them are actually covering up right now. So jungle val is actually a really easy plant to grow. It doesn't need CO2, and you definitely gonna love this. And of course dark wheat, which I know can be a bit controversial. Some people doesn't like it, but I like it. Occasionally you might have to scoop them out, because it can overrun your other plants, but it's not a problem with this small tank. About a month I did a little bit of upkeeping, clean up algae, cleaning up the back, the side, and you can see a little bit algae, but just okay. And sometimes I leave it a little bit for my fish or my shrimp to nibble on. So yeah, this is pretty much it. It's pretty easy. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, I would like you to give me a subscribe, a like, whatever, or comments, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode.